Good afternoon, everyone. Meteorologist Andrew Wilson here with our afternoon update to the week ahead. You know, we love to do these updates every Monday and Thursday to keep everybody updated on what the forecast is going to be. First of all, on Monday, so you can plan your week. And then every Thursday, we like to do these so that you can plan your weekend and then maybe the early part of that next week. We talk about current conditions and then we talk about the forecast. And again, we do this live every single Monday and Thursday at 2:30. You can watch live on the 11 Alive app. You can watch it on the 11 Alive Plus app, which you can get on your Roku and Fire TV devices. We're going to talk a little bit more about that a little later on. But first off, let's talk about how beautiful it is out there. It is a stunning afternoon all across North Georgia. Look at all that sunshine that we have. Satellite and radar not showing a single cloud out there. Now, we are going to have the possibility for a few clouds over the next 24 hours. We're going to really see that build in later on. But for a majority of today, it is going to be looking like this, where we have a lot of blue sky overhead. So it's nice to see the quiet conditions out there, not really dealing with a lot of gloomy skies by any means, just a few upper level passing clouds here and there. You can see that as we look out towards downtown at the moment and Midtown, a few of those upper level clouds still making their way overhead. Beautiful though out there all across the region. When we look up towards the Georgia 400 and I-285 at Northside Hospital camera, you see a few clouds up there. A little bit of a skip in our cameras for today. Maybe they're a little slow from how breezy it was yesterday. But you can tell that the winds are nowhere near as strong. Still a little bit of a breeze up there at the flagpoles, though, as we look out towards Georgia's Rome. And then out towards the airport, everything moving smoothly. You don't see any delays as we make our way throughout this Thursday. 71 right now in Atlanta. We do have 69 in Duluth, 70 degrees in Gainesville, 73 in Athens, and we have 72 down towards Thomaston. As we continue our way throughout today, these temperatures are going to continue to rise into the mid to upper 70s. So a nice warm day out there, closer to where we should be for this time of year. We should be in the upper 70s, and we're going to be kind of closer on towards that. Now, we have had very windy conditions the last few days. We had a red flag warning just yesterday. We had wind advisories earlier on in the week, and finally the winds are starting to calm down. But notice the direction they're coming out of. The winds are still out of the northwest, bringing in that cooler air mass and drier air mass that we've been dealing with. But as we head throughout the next 24 to 48 hours, these winds are going to start to switch, and we're going to end up having a little bit of a change in our weather pattern. I'm talking about more cloud cover, a little bit of rainfall possible, and some warmer, more humid conditions. We're going to be talking more about that in a moment. Let's take a look at the pollen count for today. It is at 228. Hickory, oak, pine, sycamore, walnut, those are your main contributors. High levels of tree pollen, high levels of grass. We have low levels of weed pollen in the air, and then mold is at a medium level for today. So the mold finally starting to fall down a little bit after the rainfall that we had a few days ago. Remember, the last day of April, that actually ended up being the fourth wettest day of the month, or the year rather, so far. It was a very wet day, and then we saw those molds really spike right after that. Right now, though, still under a high count for tree pollen. You know, that has been one of the big issues with those who suffer from allergies as we made our way throughout the last few weeks here. We aren't at the extremely high level anymore, but still at that high count. You're likely still having a few issues with allergies. I actually mowed the lawn today at my house and noticed right away, kicked up some of that pollen, ended up dealing with some allergies myself. So keep taking that allergy medicine if you struggle with those allergies this time of year, because again, we're still kind of stuck in that high count. Now, we did take a little bit of a tumble there towards the end of April. On the 28th, we had a low count. That was the first low count since February 1st. So we have had the numbers really go down after our last time that we were at the extremely high level, which was on Friday the 21st. Now, I want to take a quick note here. Earlier on this year, early March, we had a count that was 3,000 plus on the tree pollen. That was the earliest ever we had a 3,000 plus count. I think it was March 7th, I believe, trying to think back here. And April 20th, where we had the 3,000 plus count, was the latest we have ever had a 3,000 plus count. So we had the earliest and the latest in the same year. It's been a prolonged allergy season, but honestly, we haven't had as big of spikes in the pollen count as what we have had at some other past years, where we've had the count really spike up real high, even higher than that 3,000 count that you're seeing on the screen. So yeah, it is still at the high level. but hopefully we can see that start to dip down a little bit now that we're moving towards the end of pollen season here. But we need a really good soaking rain to really knock out some of those pollens, right? Let's take a quick look at some of the temperatures that we've had over the last month. Of course, that is a little bit of a contributor to whenever we have pollen and the leaves really start to bloom out on those trees. Right now, you're seeing a red line here going across the screen. That's going to be the average high for this time of year. The blue line, the average low, those numbers there on the bottom, that's going to be our actual low, the actual low temperatures that we hit each day. You see the dates here at the bottom of the screen going left to right. And then at the top of the white bars you're seeing, that's the high. So you can see that we were above average around April 19th. We were hanging out in this above average range with some days temperatures rising into the mid to upper 80s, or excuse me, lower to mid 80s, not upper 80s rather. And then as you see, we made our way into the late part of April. We had our temperatures really drop below average, and that's where we're trending right now. You see that the temperatures the last few days have been below average. Today, though, we're going to be climbing closer on up towards that average point. Satellite and radar showing a lot of sunshine out there. Of course, that's a big contributor. A lot of sunshine helping us warm up nicely. We look further off to the west. That's pretty much where the closest rain is to us. Look off towards Texas. That I-35 corridor stretching from San Antonio up through Dallas. They're seeing a little bit of shower activity just west of there, and the showers are just creeping their way on towards them. And then you look up towards Fort Smith, Arkansas, the northwest corner of the state, and up towards Fayetteville. They're dealing with some showers up there, but we aren't seeing any here. Of course, whenever we do have rain, it's important to have that 11 Alive app. You see at the top part of the screen there where it says Explore Radar Map. Once you download the app, you can click that button and you can see where the rain is yourself all across the U.S., not just here in North Georgia. And then you have the current conditions for wherever you may be at. You can select that you want the app to know where you're at. That way you can figure out what the weather is wherever you are here throughout North Georgia or when you travel. And 71 degrees right now in Atlanta. That's the current conditions with a mostly sunny to partly cloudy sky. We head throughout this afternoon. You see those temperatures rising to the mid to upper 70s in the hourly. There's a daily tab right next to it, so you can check out the weather for throughout the week. And then as you head down the phone there, you see the Weather Wow moment, how you can submit that to us. We love to share those on air. We love to share your photos. Take a beautiful shot of your backyard. Maybe a lot of the grass is growing. Maybe you see a lot of flowers growing in your garden, or your garden is starting to produce tomatoes or anything. Send those photos to us so we can share them, and then you see at the bottom of the screen, Watch Live. That's where you can watch newscasts live, updates like the one you're watching right now, live, and also you can watch extra news information right there. And speaking of extra news information, you see where it says now streaming on Roku and Fire TV. You can download the 11 Alive Plus app. That way you can get extra weather information like the weather update you're watching right now and extra news information right there at your fingertips from your home. So make sure you download that 11 Alive Plus app and the 11 Alive app right there to your phone so you can stay alerted whenever we do have strong storms possible, which thankfully isn't looking like it's going to be an issue this week. But remember, springtime into the early summer, we end up having some strong to severe storms here in North Georgia like we already had earlier on this year. It's important you have a way to receive alerts. That 11 Alive app is a great way to have that. So let's talk about the forecast. As we make our way throughout today, we do start to see a little bit of cloud cover try to creep back in, but it's really not until we get into tomorrow morning, especially around 5 a.m., you see a mostly cloudy sky starting to develop across the region. We are going to have a chance for some rain there as we head throughout the day on Friday. Getting to 12:30, I want you to see where the heavier showers are, looking into northern portions of Alabama, especially right over the Huntsville area. If you're not familiar with the geography of the state of Alabama, that's going to be right in here. You see where they have some yellows and oranges right over Huntsville. They could be dealing with some heavier rain at that time. Look at the temperatures here as we head through 12:30. Temperatures are going to be sitting in the 50s and 60s. So it will be a little cool at times as we head throughout the day tomorrow. Seeing that shower activity pass through, of course, rain helping us cool off. Also the cloud cover hindering that sunlight from helping us stay warmer. So it will be a little bit there on the cooler side. And I want you to also notice one other thing that this graphic is showing. Look at where the winds are coming from. They have now turned out of the east, sometimes even a little bit more out of the southeast. You're going to see later in the forecast compared to the winds that we have right now out of the northwest. which remember, those northwest winds are the reason why we've been staying so dry. So we have the Atlantic Ocean off to our east, just past South Carolina, the Carolinas together, both of them north and south. We have the Atlantic Ocean, and whenever we get those easterly winds, it can start to bring in more moisture. And then, of course, if we get southeasterly winds, sometimes the Gulf of Mexico can start to come a little bit more into play if the winds turn more southerly. And those are the moisture sources that allow us to get more humidity here in parts of North Georgia, and also that can lead to more cloud cover and even start to spark up a few showers. So the winds remain more out of the east to southeast as we head even into Saturday. Temperatures rising into the 70s for highs, and we're going to keep with a slight chance for a few showers to isolated chance for a few showers each day throughout the next 5 days. So just a 20 to 30% chance, not going to be a washout, but no rain is going to be possible, which is all right, right? Because right now we're behind average on rainfall for the month of May. We could use a little bit of rainfall. No rain in the rain gauge just yet for this month, but of course we have plenty of the month to go. And that's of course right after we had the fourth wettest day of the year so far at the very end of April. April 30th brought more than an inch of rainfall. It was the wettest day that we have had since March 26th. So we have a lot of the month to go in order to catch back up for the month of May, but also we're not hurting for the year. You know, we're still ahead of rainfall for the year. So the normal year to date, just under 18 inches of rainfall, really just about at it. And we are still above 19 and a quarter of an inch of rainfall for the year so far. So we're well ahead. Whatever rainfall we get over the next few days, with that slight chance, it's just going to add to our surplus. And with that being said, that we're at a surplus, no drought for the north part of Georgia, and then also we have no more moderate drought down in the southeast portion of the state. Down here towards Brunswick, they have been dealing with a moderate drought for quite some time. This is actually the first time that we have had no moderate drought in the entire state of Georgia since September 27th. Of last year. So it's been a while since we haven't had any. We still have abnormally dry conditions. So yeah, there's still somewhat of a drought situation out there. But for no moderate drought conditions, that light tan color like what they have down towards Jacksonville, closer on towards St. Augustine, they have really been dealing with the drought conditions, and it's nice to see that's gone. Again, we're going to add a little bit to the surplus. We have a quarter of an inch to a half an inch possible of rainfall as we head throughout the next 7 days. So not too much rain, just a little bit here and there going to be possible. So each day, don't consider yourself guaranteed to have rain. It's just a chance. And as we head throughout the next few days, you see the temperatures just rising. That's because we have that ridge of high pressure that's moving over into our region, and that means that we do get some warmer conditions out there, and that shows up on the 7-day forecast. Now, Chesley McNeil was in this morning. Meteorologist Chesley McNeil told everybody that this was his pick of the week, and it's a guarantee. You walk outside, you can really tell, an 11 on the whizometer. And then you see a 20% chance for rain in on Friday. The whizometer numbers go down a little bit, but it's still going to be all right. It's not going to be a washout each day. Temperatures in the 70s to 80s for highs each day. So we're going to trend above average on temperatures, which that will continue as we make our way through the end of the month of May, as well as we headed to the middle to the end of the month, rather. You see the 8 to 14 day outlook showing that, and then you also see above average rainfall being possible too. So maybe a little bit more shower activity possible there for the middle to the end of the month. So I'm going to bring everything back up on the 7-day forecast, everyone. I hope you can have a wonderful week ahead of you. We'll, of course, be back to give you another update as we head into next Thursday. We actually are going to take Monday off this next week, so expect the next update to be on Thursday of next week at 2:30 p.m. We'll, of course, continue to keep you updated on everything anytime in between right here on 11 Alive. Chief Meteorologist Chris Holcomb will be on each evening with an update to the forecast. Meteorologist Chesley McNeil will be on in the morning, and meteorologist Melissa Nord and Nicole Hartford will be on this weekend. Have a wonderful week ahead of you.